deserve. I mean, there's so many things wrong with that. You know, you have a man who's struggling every day to get up out of bed, and I mean that literally. And you're gonna have these people try to tip over his wheelchair. Are you serious?
That would be to the point where even if I was outnumbered and say 10-1,
I don't care.
You grab that one guy and you make sure you totally ruin his life.
Exactly.
Disfigure him.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a beating. It's going to happen. You're going to get jumped. But as long as you get that one guy, you know in your heart that you did something.
I don't know, and I think about this all the time. I really do. I don't think I could be in these people's anywhere near their vicinity within shouting range because I know how I am. My wife knows how I am. I think Sal knows how I am. If this shit went down, I wouldn't even play. I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't start arguing with them. I literally would just beeline towards them. And I don't care if there are a lot of them. I know they wear all this stupid ass gear or whatever they're wearing.
That's what I'm saying. You just grab one.
I don't even care. But I wouldn't be stupid. Because let me tell you something. I said this morning. They're afraid to come to a place like New Jersey. They're afraid. I mean, to come to a place like where we live, you know, if they're going to like say a Belleville, Nutley, you know, East Hanover, a Fairfield, West Caldwell, they're afraid because if we knew they were coming and there was going to be 100 of them, we would have literally probably 300. And I got a lot of tough ass paisans out there that would come with me. We would have them wiped the fuck off the earth like a stain. We would crush them and they won't come here because they prey on places where like university campuses or, you know, places where they have, you know, a lot of people and they show up, you know, an hour before. If it's planned, they don't come. Like, did you see them messing with any of the motorcycle guys? Psst, please. The Harley guys, they said one thing, they ran because you ain't messing with Harley guys, you know, the bikers for Trump. You ain't messing with those guys.
Did you see what they were protesting at Berkeley? They were protesting Ben Shapiro's speech.
Right.
Did you listen to? I don't know if you listened to it.
I did not. Tell me.
After listening to it, there is not one thing that should be protested about.
Right.
He didn't go one way right wing. He didn't go one way left wing. He's a very middle of the road dude, and he was just saying it like it is. Like,
well, I love Ben Shapiro.
And he loves it. He goes after he was done. He's like, did anything I say right there, was that cause to build a 10-foot barrier? Was that cause to get all these arrests? Like, no. Like, why can't we have free speech in this country?
I love Ben Shapiro, and I think he's a highly intelligent guy, but
it's a little off sometimes.
No, he is. How could anyone get fired up by Ben Shapiro? He is as cerebral. Yeah. Like, if you want to, like, I think the guy's intelligent. He has a lot of good things to say. However, listening to him for more than maybe like 20 minutes,
yeah, you get the point.
He is great for going to sleep. His voice is really. His kids love him. I bet.
He doesn't stop, and he's that same tone, same pace.
I guarantee you, Ben Shapiro's wife kisses him on the lips every night before bed because talking to his children, he puts them out like really quickly because he's very surreal. He's very, very calming guy, but he's very informed. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, this stuff is just people, and they don't even know what they're protesting, but. I'm completely. When I saw the video, I was outraged. I was outraged because. And here's another thing. I didn't hear one liberal, one left-wing Democrat. Nobody condemned them. Here's a man. I mean, wait a second. What happened if? Could you imagine if you just had a non-military guy who was in a wheelchair, and people tried to go up and knock them over? Liberals would be outraged. They'd say, "Oh my God," you know. But since the guy was a military guy, which should have even more, not that you should have more compassion, but the man was fighting for our country. No one said a word.
Well,
Nobody.
They finally classified them as a gang.
Yeah. Okay. Who did?
California.
Gotcha. Okay. They did something right for us.
Yeah, but they pay gang members. Remember we went over this. So, like, it's one thing to get classified, but they also get paid.
Oh, shit. I didn't think about that.
So
Sal brings up a good point. Maybe they did him a favor calling them a gang, so now they're going to pay Antifa. I didn't think about that, taxpayers. But, yeah, that's something that's find it interesting. But
where we transition?
I want to transition to this. We were talking about a little bit about Hillary and her book tour and the follies that are going on with that. But this last Thursday, something really serious happened. And the media, and here's the funny part, people. Hillary is going on all these book tours to promote her book and sell books. She wants to make money. Now, this came out on Thursday. So here we are. Today is Monday. It actually came out late Wednesday. So So she was on all these shows like The View, these other assholes at late night TV. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today's Monday, 5 days. Not one person, not one, has asked her about any of this, nor has the media.
Before you jump into it, how ironic is it that she has a book called What Happened, and when you ask her about what happened with the emails, what happened with Benghazi, what happened with this, what happened with that, she doesn't have any fucking idea what happened. It's so ironic.
Yeah,
and then she has a book called What Happened. She doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, but she wrote a book. But
please, all right, go ahead.
No, that's actually funny. But this past Thursday or late Wednesday night, the U.S. State Department recovered from Sal and I have been talking about the Anwan brothers. They recovered 1,617 pages of brand new emails that Hillary and Huma Abedin thought they erased. So they recovered them. And there's a lot of messed up things here, and I'm only going to go into a few of them. But what they basically stated was it has conclusive. You can't even debate the proof of these emails because there's dates, times, people that she sent to, things she said, money she was given. And there's a lot, people. We're not talking like one or two instances. I mean, there was a March 8th, 2009, where she's giving all this information to former Senator George Mitchell about Palestine. He's not even on the classified list anymore. That's one of them. This is a funny story. On June 23rd, 2009, there's a U.S. diplomat named Martin Indyke. He had a security clearance revoked in the year 2000 because he was being paid to give classified information. I think he was convicted and he cut a deal, and I think he was pardoned by one of the. I think he might have been pardoned in 2000. He'd be pardoned by who? Was that Bill? No, by Barack. I think
2000.
Yeah, was it Clinton? Bush. Yeah, he cut a deal with Bush, and he got what do you call it? I think he got let go. But there's classified material from him. Then there's all sorts of things. And here's what's interesting, people. Remember we talked about Benghazi and how it doesn't matter. Well, on September 11th of that year in Benghazi, there was an email trail, unsecured email trail, saying where they were landing, when they were pulling out, who were the occupants, meetings, times. So now you say to yourself, whoa, they have these people's itineraries on an unsecured hacking webs. We could be hacked. Yeah. Now people know all our classified information. And that was going on. And then lastly, we were talking about money. Tons and tons of money. Sal and I think about 6 broadcasts ago, talked about the Keystone Pipeline and how I love how Hillary, all you liberals want to say Hillary loves the environment. She's pro-environment. I told you she's not pro-shit. She's pro-money. And this shows it. The guy's name is Gordon Griffin. He's a Keystone lobbyist. He said, hey, Hillary, I'll donate a lot of money to your Clinton Foundation if you change your vote. That was in the email. So that was that. There was a dude.
How do people put shit like that in emails?
Right, they put it. There's a dude named Terrence Duffy. Here's another one for you liberals. Hillary and Obama were the anti-Wall Street people. That's the Republicans, right? The Republicans are the guys who love big business, who love all you Wall Street guys. Well, Terrence Duffy is the chairman of a futures brokerage company called CME Group. He donated to the Clinton Foundation $250,000 for this one episode to get his appointees to Singapore and Hong Kong in the email. Lastly, this dude named Bal Das, he's a New York financier, gave $300,000 and promised Hillary multiple speaking engagements around New York if he could get favors for his friends. Hillary agreed. So, people, these are just some of the stuff that was in these emails. If this bitch don't go down, and what we need to happen is Huma Abedin needs to get 2 or 3 tight grips around her jugular vein, ready to choke her to death, and then turn on her. Because between her and Little Wiener, we need somebody to go, and Hillary's got to roll, and she got to take that hit because this woman is evil personified.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Evil.
She's just a cult ringleader, basically. Oh, man. But going back to your point about the fat cats, the Wall Streets, all this, our boy Barry was in the news today. I hear Dempsey outside. Our boy Barry was in the news today. Well, he was in the news. He's always in the fucking news.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was. I'll talk about this first, but he also
it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna listen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into what else he has planning for next month.
Yeah.
Freaking guy. Well, anyway, Barry is going to be speaking to Cantor Fitzgerald. I don't know if it happened today, if it's going to happen tomorrow, happen this week, but it's going to happen. The head of Barry's foundation is this guy named Sage Kelly. This guy, Sage Kelly, is a venture capitalist hedge fund manager for guess who? Or was for guess who? Cantor Fitzgerald.
Correct.
Anyway, this guy, Sage Kelly, his big specialty in his hedge fund and his venture capitalism is healthcare. Go figure. This guy's been the head of his foundation since 2009.
Obamacare.
Get out of here, right?
Out. Wow.
Anyway, all this is coming out, but there is this. Let me see what I have here. He's subject to the revolving door project, Obama. This doesn't mean much. It's overseen by this guy named Jeff Hauser.
Okay.
It's the revolving door project in Washington. And all that does is they see the kind of, I don't want to use corruption.
It is correct.
It is corruption, but
Yes,
they see
yeah.
what's going on, and now he says that Obama's going to be fined steadily for talking to these people and taking this money. But it's just fine. It's all he can do.
We're paying him probably
It's all
quadruple
because
10 times.
the reason for the fines is because he's still active in the Democratic Party and pushing agenda and pushing this and pushing that.
Right.
And he can't, theoretically, air quotations, he can't talk to these people
Right.
and still do it. But he's doing it blatantly in their face. So he's like, we're gonna, they were talking about the fine, maybe $2 million, something like that. But to him, that's nothing now.
Someone will pay for it.
Exactly.
He won't even pay out of his pocket.
But I just thought that was so interesting because, like you were saying, conservatives are all about Wall Street.
Right.
The this was in Bloomberg too. This was a liberal publication. This was in. The guy was saying, whoever will pay Obama, that's where Obama will speak.
Of course.
That's it. This dude is nothing but fun. He's nothing but for money.
Yes.
That's it.
I mean, that's another part of this that I find hysterical is, Sal and facts and all this information. I'll still have idiots sitting across from me arguing with me vehemently about this, that no, if you can't see this, it's insanity that his cabinet was basically inundated with Goldman Sachs guys and
That's
people.
it, yeah.
So was Hillary's. And listen, to be fair, so is George W. Bush's. And we talk about that. Sal and I aren't huge G.W. Bush fans. I think he's a more honorable man than them. And I don't think he's an evil man. However, I just think he's a weak man. And I think he goes along with the flow. He didn't do it the first 4 years, but the second 4, I think he got rid of the Riot Act, and he towed the line. And if you look at policies, and I've scrutinized these, I've scrubbed these. GW's policies, which the liberals hated so much, and we heard all about it, how he ruined the country. If you look, and you could take off your rose-colored glasses, liberals, and you could see the policies of Barack Obama, they were almost identical. However, they were about 100 times worse. So he basically took George W. Bush's policies that he supported. He took in the same policies and accelerated how crazy they were to be more insane. But you guys loved them. And this is what bothers me, is that you can't differentiate between two. You just can't, because George W. Bush has a stupid R next to his name, and Barack Obama has a stupid D next to his name. You have this humongous, because Sal and I don't care. We don't flying fuck about Republicans. We don't give a shit about Democrats. I don't care. I'll be the first one. Get the rhinos out. They are Republicans, people. If you don't know that, liberals, I don't give a shit. Either the South. We don't care about their affiliation with a political party. We want good people. That's it. Yeah. Listen, you give me a Democrat that's a good person, I'll support them. I've done it in the past. I've supported Evan Bayh. He retired from he was in Indiana because he said the Democratic Party was so messed up. Joe Lieberman out of Connecticut, better than the scumbag you got there now. He retired because of the same reason. So I don't care about their affiliation. I despise Paul Ryan. He's a Republican. I despise Mitch McConnell. What's his name? McCain, Graham, Mitch McConnell. I despise these people.
Go. They all got to
go. So, but you liberal Democrats will never, ever, ever do anything to your own party, ever.
That's
ever.
the truth. And then next month, Obama's going to have his annual summit in Chicago.
Yep.
So
More money making for him.
more money. God knows what they're going to talk about. All big banks, hedge fund dudes,
Of course.
pushing global agenda.
That's
That's
it.
all it's going to be. So more to come with that because I know tons of stuff are going to come out around the time of this.
You said this 2 podcasts ago, and he's on the. Listen, he is on the money again. I'm sounding like a broken record here. The guy's on the money, kid's on the money every single time. And we have a couple things, but I didn't know about this. And someone sent, I think Monica Gio sent this to me. She's always on top of this shit, so thank you, Monica. But now, who would have thought? Think about this, people. What do your children love for breakfast? I know. Stay with me here, people. You understand where I'm going. What do I love for breakfast? If I'm in a rush, there is nothing like a quick bowl of cereal. So, who is the company that came up with Tony the Tiger? You know, the commercials of Tony the Tiger saying, it's great, hugging little kids, taking them to school, playing ball with them, playing catch with them, playing football with them. Kellogg.
I always like the Schmacks guy.
Exactly. Kellogg, since we were little kids, was an icon. And their originator or founder was a guy named W.C. Kellogg. He started the company. He passed away in 1951, and he left the company to his kids. Second generation of those children brought the company into like the 70s and early 80s. I think they died off because now we're talking 3 generations. The original Kellogg put into his will or direction of the company that he wanted to be a very charitable organization. He was one of these guys, that came from humble beginnings, made a lot of money, and he allotted a large portion of revenue to charity. Very honorable. Yeah. Well, what has happened? Some hippies from the late 60s, early 70s got a hold of the company. So now, people, I say boycott all Kellogg cereal. Don't buy another fucking box because it was just shown that Kellogg has given $268 million, so $250 million plus to Black Lives Matter, La Raza, which is a Mexican nationalist gang. They formulate illegal activities in Mexico against America. They're giving tons of money to Hillary Clinton, tons of it. Like, that's what she needs, more fucking money. And believe it or not, they are giving to all of George Soros's radical left-wing groups. They're financing them. So
it's like Antifa,
and all these crazy websites like Occupy Democrats. So now at Kellogg cereal, you have a bunch of radical left-wing nut jobs who have basically a piggy bank of millions and millions of dollars to give to. And here's the funny part: they did not give to one right-wing or center-right group at all. It was all radical left wings. I don't even think they gave to like military, like Wounded Warrior groups, because now what happens is these people on the board have these radical left-wing liberals on the board at Kellogg. They have access to this money and they can give to whoever they wanted because Kellogg put in the bylaws that this money had to be given away every year. It had to be. It can't go to individuals. They can't send money to themselves. It has to be allotted. So that's who they've elected. So until they change, do not buy another box of Kellogg's cereal again.
Which
awesome.
Screw Kellogg's.
Screw Kellogg's.
Did you see
General Mills is Kellogg's.
And General Mills is Kellogg's. Thanks, babe. General Mills is Kellogg's too. So Kellogg's, General Mills, bag out, buy Post, and go somewhere else.
Go to they have the Aldi's up here. They have all the knockoff cereals. Just go buy them.
Okay, good.
Anyway, did you see this? This story was from earlier in the week. This girl, Sally Quinn. She is the wife of the guy who owned the Washington Post.
No.
You didn't see this?
I didn't see this.
Well, Sally Quinn came out as an occultist. She said personally that she is a witch.
Okay.
And that she has put hexes on people and they have died.
Really?
Yeah, and she's of course a huge time Democrat
Yeah.
supporter,
Okay.
Hillary Clinton supporter.
All right. Did she get an example?
I was laughing at the story, so I'm sure she did. I was like, how could this be news?
Well,
how could this be real?
Well,
Like,
think about
it was real.
I would think
She admits to it.
I would think the owner of the Washington Post is a wealthy man, correct?
Yeah, I think this is for the former owners, but
Yeah,
whatever.
before,
Yeah,
they're wealthy men.
Yeah.
They own a large newspaper. Well, they're probably hemorrhaging money now, but at one point they're probably wealthy men to buy a newspaper. Look who these people are involved with.
These are the people they marry.
Like complete nuts.
Like nut job. Like, yeah, I'm a witch. I put hexes on people and they die. She admitted this. Like,
I would love to talk to this woman.
I would.
Oh, it would be entertainment for a week.
I would just be like, yeah. So what did you do? Like, what happened?
Yeah, tell me.
Like, what happened? Yeah.
Well, think about this too. Does she have a brain? I mean, if she killed people, wouldn't that make her a murderer?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
But she's proud of it. It sounds like.
Yeah. We'll talk about this off air because I heard this debilitating Game of Thrones theory that kind of shook my whole world up. But I'll tell you, I don't want to kill I don't want to kill the viewers.
Yeah, don't kill. We'll talk about it later. But is there got anything else? Because there's something that I want to tell. I want to finish this on a serious note because it's something we've discussed and we need to talk about. But what else you got? You got anything out there?
No, it's Berkeley Free Speech Week, so you're gonna see lots of crazy shit all week.
Oh, is that came out from the administrators that they want to have free speech?
No, this is the Berkeley Free Speech Week.
Gotcha.
This has been set up.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We'll see how that goes.
At the end, Milo. I think Ann Coulter. I hope they cancel Ann Coulter. What an evil lady she is. And someone else is going to be speaking, also with Milo, but another conservative voice. Big one. I just can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
Okay.
But that's all at the end of this. What's today? The 18th.
Yeah.
It's all at the end of this week. So.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I just have the Dreamer thing with Pelosi that I wanted to laugh about.
All right. You want to get
into that?
Yeah, get into that, and then we'll talk about this because this is your forte. What we're going to talk about next.
Okay.
This is important.
Well, my whole point about this is today the Dreamers crashed a Pelosi.
It was great.
Yeah, whatever she was doing. She was talking about something or whatever, but all the Dreamers came and just kept on calling her a liar, and yelling at her, and she just was so baffled and dumbfounded she couldn't speak. She had no idea. But it just proves the point that the media has painted such a swath over Donald Trump of evilness.
Yeah.
That even if you make a deal that turns out to be good for the people that are yelling, it doesn't matter. They don't care. All they instantly see is Donald Trump hate.
Right.
They don't. That's what the media has conditioned these people to. It's sad.
The media has made it, and we talk about it, and we can go on and on.
Yeah,
we're not gonna get, but you're right.
Reiterate it.
Yeah, the media is probably public enemy number one because the one thing I always say is corrupt politicians are always going to be corrupt politicians. We know they're there, and we have to deal with them, and hopefully the judicial system does. Liberals are always going to act like liberals, and you can deal with them. I don't like them, but they're there. However, the media's job, even from back in 1776 times when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, those incredibly wise forefathers always knew that back then the newspaper, and they penned a phrase said the pen is mightier than the sword, because they knew that the media back then, in its elementaryest of terms, a man putting pen to paper, handing out newspapers to people walking the streets of, in Philadelphia in 1776 in Boston, that they could cause and have influence over people. So magnify that times 100 trillion today. And the media, which is supposed to be an unbiased outlook on our society. And listen, back when we were growing up where there's slants, there's always going to be people have their own shows, and that's fine as long as but now we have mainstream media, the CNNs, the CNBCs. We have mainstream anchor. Back in the day, the anchor people like Walter Cronkite, that guy would report the news.
Monotone.
And I was fine with it. Didn't give any of his, when he would pass a story onto a field reporter, the field reporter told the facts. And I remember I went to journalism school back in the day when I was in its infancy. And basically, when I was in my infancy of trying to write a paper or write a story, and they always said, when you're a reporter, you don't put any personal feelings into it. You ask these questions, and they had a list of questions that you asked to kind of get the facts. Nowadays, all you see, it couldn't be any more complete opposite of what it's supposed to be. And Sal's dead on the money. The media has a tremendous amount of power on people who are either semi-intelligent to dumb, or people who are just too lazy, or there are, I guess, a small span of evil people, scumbags that are there who just utilize the media.
I'm just calling them what they are now.
And I agree.
Scumbags.
So this is a story I want to build on, and I've been researching it, and it's important because this is
probably the most important shit that's been going on is this human trafficking.
And I don't know if you saw this today. The Wisconsin Attorney General just busted 25 people on sex trafficking. So that was a big thing, and they're gonna go into that. But there's a mayor in Seattle. His name is Ed Murray. He's been jacked up 5 times on child pedophilia. 5. And he just got this past week, after our red broadcast last week, he got picked up again for his 5th allegation. And these are the ones he was caught on. And he finally had to resign after 5 times. And so you sit here and you say he's a lifelong Democrat. He's a good friend of Hillary Clinton. We all know her story and her affiliation with this shit. And then we have, I'm going to call him Little Wiener. That's what I'm going to call him. That guy is one of the creepiest individuals on the planet.
Oh, God. I was breaking into that real fast. Did you see his little trial thing this week?
I did. That's what I was going to talk about.
That poor girl.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That poor girl.
Yeah.
But you could tell, like, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that she's the most innocent little thing in the world. She was not had a little to do with it, but that was a child.
I think she was 14 at the time.
But looking at her now, she looked like a little girl.
Right. Exactly.
Oh my
God. Exactly. And here's the funny part. He's in front of the judge, ready to get sentenced. And now his lawyers, I would imagine, if Sal was my lawyer and I'm playing Little Wiener, I would imagine Sal, being my lawyer, would say, shut your mouth. But Little Wiener, being what he is, could not help. And as we talk about, being a left-wing liberal trash bag, instead of sitting there and taking his medicine like a good Little Wiener, he blamed the 15-year-old girl for his sexting. He got in front of a judge and you know what he said? Think about this, people. He blamed it. He said, that girl was trying to sway a presidential election this year. I had no choice but to send these messages to her to stop her from doing so. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, this guy is either mentally unstable, doing a lot of drugs.
You can tell he's doing some drugs.
Drinking, or he's finally come to the conclusion that his wiener is so little, thus the name Little Wiener, that he's in a state of depression, or all of the above. For him to say that there's nothing to even tie the story together. The judge basically looked at him like he was insane.
The judge knows he's got mental problems.
He's got mental problems.
It's quite obvious to everyone watching that this dude has got some mental problems. Oh my God. When they wouldn't disclose the girl's name because she's a minor. But just when I saw the picture of her, I was like, that's it. Inexcusable now.
No, and she was younger back then.
Inexcusable.
That was 2 years ago.
Now, listen, I know you can get out. This girl, she looked like a little girl. There's 14, 15-year-old girls that look way older.
Yeah.
She is not one.
Right.
She is not one of those girls.
Right. Yeah, and it's completely unfathomable. And the reason I'm bringing this story up on Little Wiener and Murray is there's just a string of Democrats involved in just this illicit, creepy, criminal, felonious activity with children. I think since we've been doing this podcast, which I think is about 24 now, we've had at least
more than half.
On half, probably more, probably out of 24, maybe 16, where we've talked about Democrats and pedophilia and sex. It's just nuts. It's just crazy. And none of the Democrats will come out and say anything.
Even Menendez. We haven't talked about him at all.
Menendez.
He's another one.
Menendez got busted. You know what's funny? Great point by Sal. We talked about Menendez's corruption and his arrogance 2 podcasts ago, or last podcast. We didn't even mention that he was having sex with underage girls, little girls.
And those Caribbean countries, like they all love
Yeah.
Haiti,
Yep.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
They love all those places.
And we didn't even talk about it. So that's just another guy affiliated with the party having. And listen, I'm not saying Republicans don't do shit like this, but it just seems to be incredibly pervasive through the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And once again, recently, well, I think it's always been going on. But once again, the media is silent, says nothing. Nothing. It's insane.
Yeah, it's the world we live as the day goes by. It's the soap opera of our life.
It is. It is. So what do you think? You got anything else?
No, I mean we hit all the stuff I really wanted to hit tonight. I thought it was great. About now the Dems are just eating each other.
Yeah,
going at each other. No, your snake oil isn't as good as my snake oil. No.
Yeah,
climate change is real. No.
Yeah, you're getting the parties. The wheels are falling off. They're imploding, and they know. And here's the thing: if we could even if the conservatives of this country could even get I'm not even talking about a 50% fair shot. 'Cause that's not even realistic. They can right now. We're probably getting a 1 to 5% fair shot. If we could even go up to 20, 25%, just some fairness in the media, and President Trump could get some stuff passed, like we had mentioned. If we can get tax breaks done, we need to clean up with the IRS, and then we got to get something done with Obamacare because it is. I'm out there talking to a lot of people for what I do for a living. I'm in touch with a lot of people in the healthcare industry. People are dying out there. It's starting to kick in and affect people really negatively. I hear it every day. Horror stories about what's happening. It's affected myself. It's affected my wife. It's affected my friends. People with small businesses are getting destroyed. Their premiums are up like 60, 70% in 3 years. That's insanity. I have a good friend who's got a 3-man company. His yearly premium went from $13,000 a year to $29,000. That's insane. He's a small business. So this is happening all over the country, and it needs to be taken care of. So if our President Trump, and listen, he needs help. He needs these douchebag rhinos to stand up, and he needs them to act like what they are, conservatives, which they're not.
I think if tax reform goes through,
need that,
and then just one thing against.
I agree.
Washington, Schultz, Clinton,
yes,
or Obama. Just one thing comes out. One hardcore fact.
Yeah, and we have them.
I know we have them, but it comes out. Then the left knows it.
I agree.
I think that's when you stop seeing all this madness. Just one thing. Tax reform pass and one thing on the other side, like a Clinton, Obama, or the other person, Washington Schultz.
Yes.
One thing happens to where they get totally blown up. You stop. There'll be no more Antifa.
Yep.
No more of this shit.
Yeah.
I think it all. And I'm not saying that the liberals are going to jump ship and go to ours. I think they just go back to work or go back to school, and they just stop.
Well, I pray from Sal's mouth to God's ears because, like I said, and I don't mean to brag about my boy Sal here. His predictions are always right, and I couldn't ask of all his predictions. I could pray this is the one that matters the most because if it's real, exactly because. We need for this because if you just let this man do his job, and there's one other thing I want to mention real quick. I talked about this, and I was right again that you have a couple guys in his cabinet who I dislike intensely. You got this guy Cohn, McMaster's, and Tillerson, and they just came out this morning with a statement that they're trying to revive the Paris Accord.
That's garbage. That's nonsense.
And
to me,
and to me, it's not even the point of them talking about it. It's the point that these gentlemen are a detriment. They need to go, and they got to go because they're not. They're forgetting who got the president voted. And I personally think not so much Tillerson. I think something's going on with him, but the other two gentlemen, Cohen and McMaster's, I think they're both lifetime military guys. I think they're being paid off. And they're like lobbyists now in the White House. They are foreign lobbyists in our White House trying to persuade our president because they're being paid. And
I believe it.
That's the way I think it works in Washington. And they're if you had to follow an offshore bank account, or a Swiss bank account or something overseas. There was a lot of money in one of the in several of these guys' bank accounts.
Imagine if those things were all public.
Oh my God,
that might end some corruption.
Oh yeah, it will definitely do it. But that's just really the last thing I want to talk about. And we appreciate, once again, my boy Sal is Gary Gabagool. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Pretty soon, coming up, we're going to be talking with the studio. So we're going to have probably, once they incorporate video, we're going to have something going there. So Sal and I we'll have guests, telephone calls. It'll be really cool. Phone-ins, which will be great. I'd love to hear from you guys. And we love all your emails and comments on Facebook. So thanks again. Everyone have a great night. Going out with the priest. Take care, everyone. How much time do you do? I don't even realize.
Hour, perfect.
An hour, good. We're getting good at this.
I didn't see it. I was kind of timing it on this. I think it's